Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. After the awful attack on Salman Rushdie in New York the other day, his friend J.K. Rowling leapt to his defence, saying it was a horrifying attack and that she wished him a speedy recovery. She then became the subject of various threats, of a life-ending nature. These threats came via Twitter, and apparently Twitter think that they do not violate their terms and conditions. Presumably, had they been from anyone else, they would have. But because it's J.K. Rowling, they feel it's okay to threaten her like this via that platform. Presumably because of her stance on transgender views, which Twitter thinks is a terrible stance to have. And therefore, they encourage people to threaten her. That's the only explanation. Otherwise, of course, they would have pulled those posts, which they would do for just about anyone else. So we have to ask the question, does Twitter agree with these kind of threats being made to public figures? And if so, what kind of people are running Twitter? Awful people, I would suspect. But we will have a look at this article and discuss. So, J.K. Rowling's threat, you can read the word, from Iran supporting Islamic extremist did not violate Twitter's rules after the vile troll warned "You are next" in response to her support of author Salman Rushdie. British author J.K. Rowling has received this kind of threat from Mir Asif Aziz, an extremist and Islamist based in Pakistan. The writer said on Twitter, "This is horrifying news. I'm feeling very sick right now. Let him be okay." He then said that she was next. He posted several other tasteless jokes about how to destroy Israel and branded it a Putin-savaged Ukraine. Rowling, 57, has been pilloried in public ever since she objected to the term people who menstruate. Sir Salman, 75, is on a ventilator after he was stabbed multiple times by Iran sympathiser Hadi Matan, 24, an ignorant, thick, stupid man who'd been brainwashed into following an extremist form of belief. The British author received a harrowing threat from Mir Asif Aziz, based in Karachi, who described himself on the Twitter as a student, social activist, political activist, research activist, and complete arse, who made tasteless jokes about how to destroy Israel and branded it a Putin-savaged Ukraine, as well as Pakistan's chief geopolitical rival India as a terrorist state. The Harry Potter writer and free speech campaigner, who has been pilloried by trans activists for her beliefs on gender, had expressed her horror at the sickening attempt on Rushdie in the upstate New York when she was issued the chilling threat on Twitter. And she's revealed that after reporting the vile threat, the social media network responded that the extremist did not violate the rules. That's clearly rubbish. The 57-year-old posted a screenshot of the response, commenting, "These are your guidelines, right? Violence. You may not threaten violence against an individual or a group of people. We also prohibit the glorification of violence, terrorism, or violent extremism. You may not threaten or promote terrorism." And yet they do, because it's against J.K. Rowling, because of her political viewpoint on women. That's the only explanation. Aziz also appears to support the supreme leader of Iran, another arse, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who frequently rants about Israel in deranged genocidal tweets because he's mental, deranged, a lunatic, an extremist, and one of those people who's only ever read one book. In one of Khamenei's posts about the oppressive Yazidis, for instance, Aziz responded with a heart emoji. And responding to another tweet from the Iranian dictator, Aziz gushed, "Dear leader, your struggle for Islamic world will not be wasted until we young generation are with you." Rowling, 57, had posted last night about Rushdie's attack. "Horrifying news, feeling very sick right now, let him be okay." Aziz, who had described Rushdie's attacker Hadi Matar as a revolutionary Shia fighter, then threatened, "Don't worry, you're next." And we like JK, we admire her bravery, her stance on the gender issues. He is a brave man. He knew exactly what he was doing when he took it on and did it nonetheless. And that takes courage. So I wish him well to recovery, and I hope that she doesn't actually get attacked, shall we say. Let's hope that this sad little loser with his sad losery life will spend some time regretting his decision. He probably won't though, will he? He's a knob. Anyway, that shall come up. There is no justification for Twitter allowing this post to stand. Absolutely none. It's quite clear what it is. It's quite clearly a personal attack It's clearly an attack with menace and threat. And yet Twitter allow it. Why? There is no reason other than the obvious one. And that is because of J.K. Rowling being who she is and having said what she says. Twitter feels it's acceptable to attack people with which they don't agree. Twitter is disgusting scum. Anyway, if you like what you hear and see on the channel, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring the bell for notifications of future output. Leave a like, leave a comment, and until next time, stay safe, stay well, don't post on Twitter, and goodbye.